Shalom, brothers. Welcome back to the Set Apart Man, the channel where we help men walk in truth, purpose, and discipline under the Most High Yahweh. Today I've got a message, especially for my young brothers, the ones between 18 and 30 years old, because these are the building years. But too many of our men are wasting them chasing pleasure instead of purpose. See, the world says you're young, have fun, party, live wild. But Yahweh says, use this time to prepare for your calling. But before we get into it, man, I need every brother out there to do me a solid. Do me a favor, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you subscribe, turn your notifications on because every week we're bringing truth that helps men become set apart. And I want to hear from you in the comments. I want you to answer this question. You know, for the older men watching, if you could go back to your younger self, what's one thing you would tell yourself to focus on sooner? Drop your wisdom and insight below. You never know who your words might help. Let's talk about it.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room, you can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave like everyone else. You were born into bondage. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All praise to the Most High Yah Shalom. Thank you for tuning in to another righteous Ruach Spirit-filled episode of the Set Apart Man. Once again, I'm back at it in them trenches, handling that kingdom business. Man, let's be honest, brothers. The ages between 18 and 30 years old are some of the most dangerous years for a man. This is a stage where most men lose focus, chasing women, parties, money, and attention, but not purpose. They think manhood will just happen one day. But manhood isn't an accident. It's built through intentional work. By the time many men reach 30, they realize the fun they've had in their 20s left them broke, spiritually empty, and unprepared for leadership, family, or even responsibility. Proverbs chapter 20 verse 4 says, "The lazy man does not plow when the winter planting season arrives, so he begs at the harvest and has nothing to reap." That's what's happening to so many men today. They didn't plow when it was time to plant. They didn't build when they had energy, strength, and the freedom to do so. And now they're looking around blaming everyone else while having nothing to show for their prime years. Brothers, man, let's look at our perfect example, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Messiah. He was the definition of discipline and divine focus. When you study his life, you don't see him wasting time, chasing pleasure, or living without purpose. Every move he made was intentional. Every word he spoke had meaning, and every action served Yahweh's will. In John chapter 9, verse 4, we must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. He understood that time is limited, and he made every moment count. He accomplished his entire ministry and changed the world all before the age of 33. Brothers, if the Messiah could complete his mission before 33, why are so many men wasting those same years on distractions that lead to nowhere? We've got far too many men that say, man, I'm a Christian, I'm Baptist, I'm this. But when you look at their lifestyle, you don't see the evidence that they're following Messiah. If Yeshua spent his youth working, learning, and obeying the Father, that's the example we're supposed to follow. You know, your 20s are not for wasting. They're for laying the foundation. That's when your body's the strongest, your energy's the highest, and your mind is the most adaptable. If you don't build discipline, skills, and character now, it becomes 10 times harder later. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 27. Prepare your work outside and get it ready for yourself in the field, and afterward build your house and establish a home. That means first, handle your responsibilities. Get your foundation right before trying to lead a woman or build a family. Too many men today want the rewards of manhood without the work of preparation. They want a wife, but can't lead. They want respect, but haven't built consistency. They want success, but refuse discipline. Brothers, Yahweh honors the man who prepares, not the one who procrastinates. Doesn't the word of the Most High Yah say Yahweh will bless the labor of your hands? You know, when men waste their 20s, it's usually because they're led by their flesh. not by the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. The flesh says, man, do what feels good. YOLO, you only live once. You'll be a YN forever. The Spirit says, do what's right. Galatians chapter 5 verse 16 says, but I say, walk habitually in the Ruach HaKodesh, seek him and be responsive to his guidance, and then you will certainly not carry out the desires of the sinful nature. Fornication, drunkenness, constant partying, these things drain your focus, drain your finances, and kill your spiritual growth. That's why Yahweh warns us to flee from these things. The time you spent chasing pleasure could have been spent building discipline, mastering a trade, starting a business, or strengthening your relationship with him. Because the truth is, every man serves something. You're either serving your purpose or your pleasure. The set-apart man chooses purpose. Brothers, if you don't build your life on truth, your whole foundation will collapse. Man, when we look in the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, man, it tells us to strive for truth unto death. The world teaches young men to build on sand, chasing money, women, gotta have all the women, and status. But the set-apart man builds on a solid rock, a firm foundation, Yahweh's word. Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 through 25. So everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man, far-sighted, practical, and sensible, who built his house on a rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and slammed against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. That's what you need to do between the ages of 18 and 30. Build your life on a rock. Build your faith, your character, your habits, your work ethic, and your relationship with Yahweh. Because when the storms come, and they will, only what's built on truth will stand. Point blank, period. One of the biggest lies men believe is I've got time. But the reality is, man, you don't. James chapter 4, verse 14. You do not know the least thing about what may happen in your life tomorrow, what is secure in your life. You are merely a vapor, like a puff of smoke or a wisp of steam from a cooking pot that is visible for a little while and then vanishes. You don't know if you'll live to be 60 or 70 as a man. That's why Yahweh says, work while it's day, because every day you waste in your youth is time you'll never get back. So instead of saying, I'll get serious later, start now, build now, pray now, save now, grow now, because old age isn't promised, but the consequences of wasted youth are guaranteed. The set-apart man doesn't just believe, he builds. You can see what he believes in his actions, in his work ethic, in his day-to-day routine. He understands that Yahweh gives every man a mission, and that mission requires discipline. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study and do your best to present yourself to Yahweh approved, a workman tested by trial, who has no reason to be ashamed, accurately handling and skillfully teaching the word of truth. Man, that's how you should live between 18 and 30. Training, studying, working, learning, growing. Build your mind, build your spirit, build your body, build your finances, because when Yahweh calls you to lead a family or a community, you'll be ready, not regretful. Not out here faking the funk, faking it till you make it. Got far too many men with that mindset. Brothers, man, if you're between the ages of 18 and 30, don't waste this time. That's the point I want to drive home. Man, when you start entertaining women and you have been out here just flapping in the wind, man, when you come across a set-apart woman, man, she's going to discern. No matter how bad you want her, no matter how good of a woman she is, you're not going to be able to secure that covenant because you don't have a foundation. And the set-apart woman, rare as she is, which you might only come across once or twice in a lifetime, yeah, she's not going for a man that's a lip service worshiper and doesn't live his life on a strong foundation. Men need to understand, man, the ages of 18 to 30, these are your foundation years. The world wants you distracted, addicted, and unproductive, but Yahweh is calling you to be disciplined, focused, and faithful. Yeshua showed us that a man on a mission doesn't waste time. He knew his purpose, he obeyed the Father, and he fulfilled his calling before he left this earth. So take your life seriously. Every moment counts, every habit matters, and every seed you plant now determines the harvest you'll see later. Brothers, if this message spoke to your spirit, man, make sure you do me that solid. Smash that like button. You know why? don't cost you anything. Dropping nuggets, game, wisdom, divine truth to help you out. Hit that like button, show your support. Comment and subscribe to The Set Apart Man. Also, when you comment, answer this question. What's one area of your life you're ready to start building in today as a man? And once you do that, man, stake your claim and be convicted to walk it out. Because if you're just commenting and not willing to do, and as a man, you're not being a doer of your word. So once you type that in there, man, take actions to carry it out. Once again, this is The Set Apart Man, kicking it gun barrel straight. Until next time, stay focused, stay disciplined, and stay set apart. Bow.